Welcome to Managing the Future, the MIS podcast, your deep dive into the technology shaping today's business world. If you're a student, maybe at the Dr. Sam Pat College of Business, or really any aspiring professional looking to understand how modern organizations actually tick, you're in the right place. Today, we're taking a really close look at business management systems, why they aren't just, helpful, but absolutely essential now in this data-driven economy. Our mission, it's pretty straightforward. Break down these key concepts. Turn complex ideas into clear, useful insights for you. And hey, if you find this deep dive valuable, please do remember to like, subscribe, follow, share it maybe, and comment. It helps us stay updated and keeps the conversation going.
That's exactly right. I mean, just try to picture a business succeeding today without the right tools. We're talking about a world generating, almost unimaginable amounts of data every single second. And trying to manage that without tech, it's like navigating an ocean without a map or a compass. It's just not feasible. Businesses absolutely must adapt, and fast. So technology, and specifically these business management systems, or BMS as we'll call them, they're not just optional extras anymore. No, they're the core engine. They let companies monitor what's happening, analyze it, and then respond strategically to this huge flood of information. And this touches everything. We're talking hiring, keeping employees, managing inventory, customer relationships, making big decisions, handling projects, and of course making sense of big data. A lot of our insights today, just so you know, are drawn from ConnectMaster, Management Information Systems by Richard Tedmon and H.Schuessler Wilhelm. It's a great McGraw Hill resource from 2024.
Okay, so let's dig into that foundation first. Why is technology just non-negotiable now? The pace of change is just staggering, right? The amount of data being created. Mind-boggling. It kind of reminds me of Moore's Law. Gordon Moore, 60 years back. For anyone maybe not familiar, it basically says the number of transistors on a computer chip, it doubles roughly every 18 months. So what does that doubling actually mean for, say, a business student listening right now?
Oh, the impact is profound, really profound. Think about it like this. As chips get exponentially more powerful, software developers create amazing, incredibly sophisticated programs that use all that power. But here's the catch, the kicker, really. That super capable software makes older devices struggle. They just can't keep up. So for businesses, and honestly, for all of us, it means needing constant upgrades. Replacing technology infrastructure isn't a luxury, it's maintenance. It's not just about having the shiniest new gadget. It's about staying competitive, keeping performance up. So businesses today, they absolutely depend on having solid business management systems. These systems process data in real time, letting them monitor performance, spot trends as they emerge, and react to market shifts with a speed. Well, it was unthinkable just a few decades ago. Without these systems, they'd pretty much be flying blind.
It's amazing how it connects back to just our everyday online activity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every click you make, every like, every video view, boom, recorded instantly. And businesses just gobble that data up. They use it for everything, like super targeted ads, developing products maybe you didn't even realize you wanted, even personalizing customer service calls. And none of that happens without this complex tech backbone constantly monitoring, analyzing, and responding.
Precisely. Which brings us right to the core, doesn't it? What are these business management systems, these BMS? Put simply, they're the integrated tech tools businesses use to seriously boost management efficiency. You can almost think of them as the digital nervous system of a company today.
Okay, so a BMS isn't just like one software package you buy off the shelf. You called it a system.
Mm-hmm.
What are the essential pieces that make up a really effective BMS? This is where it gets, I think, really interesting for anyone trying to, wrap their head around how it all works.
You got it. It's not just one thing. It's a powerful combination. First up, you absolutely need database management systems, DBMS. Think of these as like the super organized digital libraries for your business. Their job is storing, classifying, and retrieving information. And their functions are vital. They take in raw data, they check it for accuracy, avoiding that garbage in, garbage out problem. They allow for incredibly fast, complex searches, and they empower managers to generate insightful reports whenever they need them. They're really the foundation everything else is built on. Okay, next, layer on predictive information systems. This is where businesses start looking forward. It's not just about what is happening now. It's about exploring what could happen. These systems help managers run complex what-if scenarios. So for instance, a manager could use it to model almost instantly what happens to production costs if, say, a key material price jumps 10%. It helps them anticipate things, plan for bumps in the road, and handle possibilities proactively instead of just reacting after the fact. And then the third key piece, decision-making information systems. This is where it all comes together. They integrate the DBMS, that's where all the data lives, with those predictive systems that simulate futures. By combining them, they give managers deep statistical analysis, trend forecasts, other really sophisticated insights. So now it's not just raw data, it's actionable intelligence. It directly helps managers make much smarter, more strategic decisions.
That breakdown makes a lot of sense. Database prediction, decision support. Got it. So let's say a business is sold on the idea, they see the value. How do they actually implement a BMS? I imagine plugging new tech into existing operations with teams used to doing things a certain way, that can be tricky, right? Managers have to figure out if the potential upside, the improvement, really justifies the hassle of the switch. And then there's the question of where this system actually lives, physically or digitally. I think you mentioned 3 main ways they can house these systems.
Absolutely. Implementation is a major strategic choice, and yes, there are hurdles, and location matters. The first option is going on-premises. This means the organization hosts and manages everything themselves, on their own servers, in their own building, basically. The big plus, total control. You can tweak it, configure exactly how you want, but the downsides are pretty significant. You're looking at higher initial costs, the ongoing expense of having skilled IT staff in-house, plus you carry the whole burden of maintenance, updates, and crucially, security. You own everything, the good and the bad. Option 2 is a cloud-based BMS, and this is becoming super common, really the standard for many. Here, your system lives on servers hosted by a third-party cloud provider like AWS or Azure or Google Cloud. The advantages are pretty compelling. These providers offer top-notch security systems, often better than what a single company could manage. Server capacity is incredibly scalable. You can easily ramp up or down as your business needs change, like overnight. And it drastically cuts the need for a big in-house IT team, saving on hardware costs and salaries. Cost is still there, of course, but it shifts from big upfront investments to more predictable monthly or yearly operational expenses. And the third main option is SaaS-based BMS. SaaS stands for Software as a Service. In this model, the software application itself is usually hosted by the vendor in the cloud, and you access it over the internet. You might still keep some data or hardware on-site. Think of it like subscribing to Netflix versus buying DVDs. You're subscribing to the software service. The vendor handles all the back-end stuff, infrastructure, maintenance, updates. They ensure it stays compliant with regulations, which is huge, and it minimizes your direct security worries. The potential trade-off, maybe slightly less customization compared to a fully on-premises setup because you're operating within the vendor's offered framework.
Okay, that distinction, owning versus subscribing, that's a really helpful way to frame it. Now let's zoom in a bit. What does all this technology mean for specific departments inside a company? Clearly these systems are foundational, but how do they actually help, say, the HR department or inventory? Let's start with people. Often called the most important asset, right? Tell us about human resource management systems, HRMS.
You're absolutely right. Employees are the lifeblood. And managing them effectively, it's a huge, complex task. That's where HRMS comes in. Today, an effective HRMS is just essential for HR departments. These systems help with, well, pretty much everything related to employees, predicting future hiring needs, streamlining recruitment, managing training, making sure people are paid fairly and stay with the company, performance reviews, promotions, transfers, even the tough parts like dismissals, and something often overlooked, their critical role in compliance. Government regulations are always changing, and HRMS needs constant updates to keep up with laws and ensure data integrity. That's massive. And the history is kind of neat, actually. I mean, you could argue ancient Egyptian scribes, tracking workers, were early HR managers, right? Though maybe not using software. Fast forward, late 19th century, you get time clocks, punch cards, basic tracking. But the real game changer was computers, starting in the latter half of the 20th century. Companies like SAP, now a giant in this space, they started back in the 1970s, moving us from paper files to sophisticated digital systems. And while the big players like SAP and Oracle often focus on large corporations, there are tons of great HRMS options for small and mid-sized businesses too, so it's accessible for almost everyone now. And within HRMS, you find specific modules, specific tools, like recruiting and hiring management systems. They don't just post jobs online, they use analytics to predict future talent needs, helps companies build their workforce strategically. Then there's compensation management software. This makes sure people get paid correctly, consistently. Sounds simple, but getting it wrong. Huge demotivator, absolutely key for keeping good people. Benefits management software, think about how complex benefits are. Healthcare, retirement plans. This tracks eligibility, choices, usage, and keeps up with changing laws. And finally, employee evaluation management software. Tracks performance, provides that crucial documentation needed for promotions or sometimes dismissals, but is also a motivator, showing employees a clear path for growth.
Wow, yeah. It really shows how HR has shifted from just admin to being truly strategic, powered by this tech. Okay, let's pivot from people to things. Physical goods, inventory. Pretty much every business deals with inventory in some way, right? Selling products or even just using supplies. How do inventory management systems help manage all that stuff effectively?
Inventory. Yeah, it's a classic make or break area. Get it wrong and it costs you. Big time. Like, if you overstock, you tie up cash and goods just sitting there, pay for storage, risk things becoming obsolete or spoiling. You might have to sell cheap just to get rid of it. But understocking is just as bad, maybe worse. Lost sales mean lost revenue. And worse, unhappy customers who might go elsewhere next time. So modern inventory systems are all about optimization, finding that sweet spot. They use data to pinpoint the exact reordering point when you need to replenish stock. They use forecasting algorithms, sometimes surprisingly accurate ones, to predict demand. Some can even trigger automatic reorders with suppliers. It shifts inventory from guesswork to data-driven precision. And when you're choosing an inventory system, integration is really, really important. Ideally, you want something that talks smoothly with your other business software. So for smaller businesses already using QuickBooks for accounting, maybe QuickBooks Enterprise makes sense for inventory too. It feels familiar, data flows easily. Larger companies, if they're already using Oracle for other things, Oracle NetSuite might be the logical choice for inventory. Same logic for SAP users, SAP MM often integrates best. That seamless connection gives you a much clearer, holistic view of your operations.
Okay, managing internal resources, people, and products critical. Got it. But ultimately, who does every business depend on? The customers. Which brings us to customer relationship management systems, CRMs. I think most people know they track interactions, but how do CRMs really help businesses connect and grow?
Well, the fundamental idea behind CRM is pretty simple but powerful. Keeping an existing customer is way cheaper and easier than constantly finding new ones. So managers use CRMs for a whole range of strategic things. They can identify their most profitable customers and maybe give them extra attention. They use the data to optimize pricing, improve customer service, making it feel more personal, and even inform the design of new products or services tailored to what customers seem to want. Marketing gets customized too, sometimes down to the individual level based on past behavior. How do they do this? By collecting tons of detailed customer info, not just names and addresses, but buying habits, preferences, every interaction they've had with the company. Then, analytics tools crunch that data to find valuable customers, predict what they might need next, and help build really strong, lasting relationships. And it's not just customer relationships. Good CRMs can help manage relationships with suppliers or partners too. It's about fostering loyalty across the board.
That really elevates customer service from just solving problems to proactively building loyalty. Okay, so with all this data pouring in from HR, inventory, CRM, how do managers actually use it all effectively? How do they make better decisions and make sure the whole operation runs smoothly without getting bogged down? We're talking huge amounts of info. This seems to lead us towards decision-making, process management, information systems. Is that right?
Exactly. You need tools to harness all that data. Decision-making systems integrate the database info with predictive tools to boost the quality of decisions. And building on that idea, you have business process management systems, or BPM systems. Think of BPM as the efficiency expert for your organization's workflows. Their entire job is to streamline activities, find and eliminate bottlenecks, cut out unnecessary steps, and basically stop inefficiencies from draining time and money. BPM systems usually work through a cycle, typically 5 steps, to make things more efficient. First is process design. This is where you really dissect an existing process, break it down. Teams might use things like storyboards, like for movies, to visualize the flow and spot obvious redundancies before automating anything. You map it out first. Step 2 is process modeling. Now you take that design and you start plugging in variables. Flowcharts are huge here, showing the workflow visually, the sequence of steps where decisions happen. Sometimes they use a specific coding language. BPL, business process execution language. This lets the model actually run in what's called a BPE engine, like a simulator. Okay, step 3, process execution. This is where that modeled process runs in the BPE engine. This stage lets managers see it in action, make real-time decisions within the simulated process, and even run quick what-if scenarios by tweaking inputs. Very dynamic. 4th step, process monitoring. This is keeping an eye on things as they run, tracking individual steps, tracking the whole process to measure performance. They often use something called BAM, business activity monitoring, to spot bottlenecks or slowdowns in real time. And then the 5th and final step, process optimization. This is the feedback loop. It's absolutely crucial. Managers look at the monitoring data, figure out why things slowed down, or where they could save time or money. Based on that analysis, they tweak the process, improve it, and then they can run it again through the execution and monitoring phases to see if the changes worked. It becomes this continuous cycle of improvement. Run, monitor, analyze, optimize, run again, getting better each time.
That is a really systematic way to tackle operational efficiency. Very structured. Okay, so thinking about big efforts, every major new thing a company does, launching a product, opening a new office, it starts as a project, right? How do these systems help manage those distinct time-bound efforts effectively? Keep them on track, on budget, SOC project management tools and processes.
Good distinction. A project isn't ongoing work. It has a clear start, a clear end, and specific things it needs to deliver. Like you said, launching a product is a project. Tracking ongoing sales, that's operations. Project management software, PM software, is basically indispensable for managing projects today. It's like a central command center. Helps with scheduling tasks, forecasting timelines and resource needs, allocating people and budget, tracking progress in real time, task management, budget control, overall execution support. Plus, it's usually key for collaboration among the team and keeping project data secure. And yes, managers almost always use tools like Gantt charts and follow a structured, typically 4-phase PM process. You mentioned Gantt charts. They're interesting, developed way back by Henry Gantt, early 20th century, simple horizontal bar charts. But they are still the most widely used PM tool out there because they work. A Gantt chart visually breaks down the whole project, shows all the tasks, how long they should take, who's responsible. Crucially, it shows dependencies, which tasks have to finish before others can start, and which can happen at the same time. Modern PM software uses these dynamic Gantt charts to show the plan and help guide everyone through those 4 phases, right? Those 4 phases. First is initiation, the kickoff. Here, the manager defines what the project needs to achieve, sets clear goals, analyzes the costs, figures out a rough timeline, identifies who the stakeholders are, anyone affected by or involved in the project, and usually formalizes it all in a statement of work. Second phase, planning. This is where the detailed work happens. Break the project into smaller tasks. Create that detailed Gantt chart. Develop the budget. Figure out funding timelines, including when you need to get resources like people or materials, and importantly, schedule how and when you'll coordinate with all those stakeholders. Communication planning. Phase 3 is execution. This is actually doing the work, building the thing, running the campaign, whatever the project is. If the planning was solid, this phase should go relatively smoothly. But realistically, this is where unexpected issues pop up. Contingencies happen, so managers need to constantly monitor progress, usually using the Gantt chart software, and deal with problems as they arise to keep things on track. And finally, phase 4, closure. Project's done, or maybe being wrapped up. Now you review how the team performed. Document lessons learned, what went well, what didn't, so you can do better next time. Compile all the project info for records. Get final feedback from stakeholders. Did it meet their needs? And then officially close out any contracts related to the project. And like other systems, most modern PM software is cloud-based now. That makes collaboration way easier, especially if teams are spread out geographically. Plus, you get better security, usually. These platforms typically offer file storage, tools to easily reschedule tasks if needed, recording features, and those helpful visual charts. Again, you see a split. Large companies might use PM modules built into their big ERP systems like SAP or Oracle, but there are tons of excellent, often more user-friendly PM tools specifically designed for small and mid-sized businesses too. Lots of choice.
That's a great roadmap for getting projects done right. Okay, last big area for today. Let's talk about the really big picture, using all this data intelligently, strategically. This brings us to business intelligence, or BI. How does BI help companies make sense of the chaos and actually get ahead?
Yeah, business intelligence implementation, it's really about the software and the processes that let organizations truly leverage big data and predictive analytics. BI systems use techniques like data mining, digging through massive internal databases, sometimes external ones too, and combine those findings with really effective data visualization tools. The goal, to help managers make faster, better informed decisions, often proactive ones. Predictive analytics is a key part of BI. It uses complex algorithms to forecast probable outcomes based on the data you feed it. This helps managers spot potential opportunities or looming threats before they become obvious. It's like an early warning system. But, and this is so important, we mentioned it with databases, the garbage in, garbage out principle applies massively here. The quality of your input data is everything. And when picking BI software, user-friendliness matters. If your employees can't easily use it or don't trust it, it won't deliver value. Familiarity helps adoption. This connects directly to data science and big data analytics. You can think of it like this. Data science is sort of like being the expert librarian and researcher combined. It's the skill of gathering the right data, storing it properly, and being able to find exactly what you need within those huge data sets. Big data analytics, then, is like having an AI instantly read every relevant document in that library, find hidden patterns, connect dots that a human might miss, and extract genuinely intelligent, usable insights. The scale is just beyond human capability. And making sense of those insights, that's where data visualization tools are absolutely critical. BI is worthless if decision makers can't understand the information. If it's just a spreadsheet full of numbers, forget it. Effective charts, graphs, dashboards, they tell the story in the data. So most good BI platforms feature things like dashboards. These give you that quick, high-level overview of key metrics. Clickable, usually, so you can drill down into the details if something catches your eye. Good search features are also common. When managers choose a platform, they're balancing things. How powerful are the analytics tools? Does it integrate easily with our existing systems? That can make implementation way smoother. Does it provide the right kinds of visuals for our specific needs and how our managers think? It's often a trade-off between the absolute most powerful system and the one that's most practical and usable for your team.
And, wow, that really brings us full circle. That wraps up our deep dive into business management systems. What a journey, huh? From Moore's Law setting the stage, through the core parts of a BMS, then seeing how they impact HR, inventory, customers, processes, right up to managing projects and harnessing business intelligence. It really touches everything. We truly hope this deep dive has given you, especially our listeners from Dr. Sam Pack College of Business and other aspiring professionals, a much clearer, more solid understanding of these vital concepts. Thanks so much for joining us today.
So as you think about your own path, your future career, or maybe even the job you have now, which of these systems we talked about today, HRMS, inventory, CRM, BPM, PM tools, BI, which one do you think will be the most crucial for your success in the years ahead? And why? We'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
That is a great question to chew on. Definitely share your perspectives. We hope this discussion has painted a clearer picture of that technological backbone supporting successful businesses today, and maybe spark some ideas about how you fit into managing that future. So one last time, please don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share, and comment. It helps others find this and keeps the conversation alive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep managing the future.